Is there any background noise for me coming through?
No.
Okay. Yeah. Wild little move. Did we pull off a Dalty? Have to imagine.
There's definitely one available.
We ran it way outside of that range. I just feel like this is a standard BART, you know? That's what everybody will be looking for. Maybe they won't be looking for it. It's been a while since we got in a pump.
Yeah, the previously very high. It's right down, very low. That's where we are now.
It's at the EQ.
$1,000 move.
Yeah. That's the run. Lose the ODO.
But then again, I reckon if you lost the, well, we'll talk about it in a minute, but I reckon if you lost the DO, you know.
That's the run. Lose the ODO.
But then again, I reckon if you lost the, well, we'll talk about it in a minute, but I reckon if you lost the DO, someone's on repeat.
Yeah, you know, for me, the only thing I'm looking at is on the volume chart. Let me pull up EXO.
Yeah.
Not that this computer is firing in all cylinders right now. This thing might be scrapped like in the next few weeks. Not gonna lie.
Ran it back up to that old point of control for Ethereum. Sally, you are the first comment.
Like, I can't even understand what you guys are. It's on my end. I don't know if it's the internet, the computer. Like, I can barely load a page right now. The internet's going in and out.
Yeah, it says your network connection keeps dropping.
It's gonna piss me off. Yeah, price on my chart in a while. I don't even know what the price is. Pretty sure.
It's all good. Max, you wanna cover up some Bitcoin order flow? We'll just move on. We'll give Magic a couple minutes.
Here, give me a second. I'm gonna pop out and you guys do your thing. I'll join the stream back here in a second. I'm just gonna swap the other one.
Dropping me in the shit, boys. All right, yeah, let's do it. I'll it's easy enough. Yeah, screen up. So I'm literally just going to talk about how one could have spotted an entry at the low there. I'll be honest, I'm absolutely raging that it happened at the time that it did.
It's like me getting stopped out right before the drop, man. I feel you. I feel you.
Just look at that, like one in the morning. Well, I wouldn't have got in that. That's at midnight. So, but the real entry would have been at like 2 a.m. Not a chance. There's just not a chance. I'm just the heaviest sleeper. I'm literally at the point now where I'm sleeping through minute-long alarms that are just going off like as loud as they can be. I'm sleeping through. Can't be doing it. But yeah, so you front ran the gold pocket, which it's not. This is why you need the. That's why you need XO, because you front ran it just not by a crazy amount. I think it's by. Let's have a look at that low. Where is it coming in at? Let me put a little line. You front ran it by $5. The gold pocket. So if you're looking at this stuff, if you're watching for XO, you're going to be if you're looking at the gold pocket, you're going to be looking at this, and then you can go over to XO, which I need to now pull up. Give me a second. Go back. Let's go down here. So the whole day, what I was really what I was hoping we'd see was a huge amount of shorts piling, and that would be, for me, as soon as you put them underwater, would be, the trigger to enter. And he did have shorts enter most times when he dropped, a small amount of shorts. Then they got squeezed. But if you look at how many shorts piled in this last move down, you had an absolute ton. So the volume on here was very high. The open interest isn't, it's obviously not positive, but there's definitely shorts that have entered in this region, a huge amount. And even as you come back down to that gold pocket region, yes, you front ran it by $5, but you've even got shorts piling in there, thinking you're going to go lower. Now, what you could have done after you've analysed that, okay, we've just front ran the gold pocket, by $5, and you're getting buying imbalances coming off it. Yes, it is on somewhat decreasing open interest, but then again on the next candle, you're getting another buying imbalance. Volumes also increasing as you move away from. You've gone from 3.2 in the drop look, so it's gone heavy coming down, volume increasing, and then it starts to taper off. Then you get more shorts enter, more shorts getting trapped. Buying imbalance on this candle where it says that shorts have entered. So in case you're getting buying imbalances coming off the little front run of the gold pocket. And as soon as you're getting up here, you're getting shorts that are being trapped. You're getting the delta switch up. You're going from negative delta to indecision to positive delta, coming away from that region. When you're looking at this stuff, and this is on the 5-minute chart, I imagine there's stuff on the lows and time frames, which even made it even clearer. Like on that volume chart that we're all now using, it would have made it even more clear the delta switch up that occurred in this region here. And then, as soon as you've put some of them shorts underwater and you've realized, okay, we've front ran the gold pocket from the low, you're looking for an entry like this. This is literally perfect. When you're seeing these shorts come in, when you're seeing the delta switch up, when you're seeing the shorts start to be trapped, the buying imbalance is coming in, you've had, what else do you need, in my opinion? This is literally just like screaming buy me. And then as you start to get higher than, as you start to break up, you do get a delta decrease. And again, we've said it time and time again, it's not the end of the world if you're getting a move up on decreasing delta. Why? Because why are we getting the move up? You're getting the move up on the fact that people have shorted at the lows and they're now being punished for doing so. And then as soon as you get up here, you do get a follow through with some longs enter. Look at this candle here. 21 million positive delta on increasing open interest. There's your buy. There's even more buying strength as you push up towards the session close effectively. It's been a very strong move up there. Now, right now, it's just finding its feet up here. We've got the view up with support. You've got the previous day high, which is definitely one to. Is that the previous day high? I don't believe that to actually be the previous day high. I don't know whether I'm wrong here. Apparently it is. Yeah, so you've got the previous day high there. If you start to lose these levels, it's going to be, especially the day open, in my opinion, because if let's do a little cheat here. Let's look at the net longs that have entered up here. Look, there's a lot of people that have bought up in this region that if we start to lose the daily open, you could argue the VWAP, it would be your first real sign of weakness. Could you come down and get a quick move to the daily open? Yeah, you really could. But if you're doing that, I'd expect at least this low here to be taken. Reason being because, let's hope that these people know where to put the stop loss. If they're using market structure, they're going to be putting their stop loss here because it's a bit too big to have a stop loss right down to the low. Though they probably should. Chances are they're going to be having it either below the VWAP or just below this low here. And I'd imagine everyone that has entered long in this move up would have by now put their stop loss here. So it gives you the liquidity for the market maker to, come back down and take out them positions before we were to get a move up. Now, the problem arises if we do come down to this region and take that liquidity, do we get back above the daily open? Because if you don't and you reject from it, that's when you can start to think about, and in my opinion, that's where we will be looking towards a Dalton 80-20 taking place today. And what is that? Well, that's where you come down and you spend a bit of time below the previously value area high. It's in theoretically 2 30-minute candles. And then you get a very high percentage hit rate, but the previously point of control is actually pretty close. You probably just tap it straight away. But yeah, and then it's about 50% to the previously value area low. So, spend a bit of time in this region, you've got a good chance to go and see them lows again. Where's the gold pocket from this move up? No, apologies, I've actually not got anything pulled. Normally I like to have like this, all my longs and shorts for the stream, but unfortunately I've not got that luxury. So let's have a look at what is this coming in at. So the gold pocket's coming in at 19,458. Where is that? 19,458. Actually just above the previously value area high. So I'd actually expect if we were to come down and lose the daily open, let's say we got a back test of it and it rejected, that'd be a clear sign. Okay, we're going down, and I would expect us to definitely come and get perhaps a bounce in this region, because normally on these these Dalton moves, there's been not quite recently, for the past almost a year now, the player's always been long the initial touch of the previous value area high, if it's above you, of course. If we're above it, sorry, you long the first touch of the previous value area high, and it normally gives a nice bounce. Where could it give a bounce to? Again, it could always give a bounce to the daily open, and then you play the game of, do we reclaim it or do we go back down? Because then you'd be expecting the previous point of control at a minimum. Really, I'd probably be looking for the lows to perhaps be swept, because you got to think, imagine if the price has come straight back down here. Imagine how, one, scared longs will be, and two, how many shorts are piled in with people thinking we're going lower, which we very easily could at that rate. But, imagine a swing failure pattern of that low now, and then we climbed up. That would be a very bullish move, in my opinion, if we did get the swing failure pattern. But it's a risky game that we'd be playing. But yeah, VWAP's key right now, in my opinion. There's been a lot of longs that have entered in this region. We don't want to be losing the VWAP. If we do, I would expect the daily open actually not to hold. I think this low would be very important as to what occurred here. And then, VWAP, daily open. And then I'd expect, hopefully, we got a long from this region. Again, it could just be a little scalp day trade before we were to continue down. But yeah, this would be the region that I'd be expecting a trade.
Not to interrupt at all, but can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Okay, sorry. I switched computers and did that whole shebang. The new computer might be trash. That thing might just get fucking sold and thrown into a dumpster. So let me know if you guys want a computer that doesn't work.
Sold and thrown into a dumpster.
I'm back on the old one. This is like a 3-year-old computer that I swapped in a new processor on from the computer that I bought to upgrade that one. So this one's got a 7 in it, Ryzen 7 versus the Ryzen 9, and it's just, this one works, the other one doesn't. So we're gonna stick to this one, I guess. Hopefully the sound is better too. But I agree with Max, what you were just saying. If we do get the Dalton, the odds of that after a previous day point of control, just like basically taking the lows and heading down to like 17.1, probably pretty high. But, that again, that's only a possibility. It's not something that has to happen. You just have to be aware of it. You can't just blindly say, well, this is good, Bitcoin's going to pump, just because it's pumping right now. It doesn't mean shit in a couple hours sometimes. You guys know how it is.
We've got a 50-minute PVAs right down to the point previously point of control pretty much now, and it lines up quite nicely with 786. It's another little buy box down here I quite like actually.
Pull up Exo now because this is the computer I actually have Exo Charts Pro installed for the desktop, so we're going to use the desktop versus the website, even though I prefer the website because you have the overlay. The overlay is pretty nice.
Are you going to show your stuff then? Yeah.
No, I'm just pulling it up because I just want to look. I just want to have a look.
But yeah, that's what I'd be waiting for. Whether we hold this, I'd be nice 2 little trades there, and yeah, the VWAP daily open again. You can jump in as short. Arguably, as soon as we lost the VWAP, because what you could do if you didn't want to wait for the daily open, you could jump in as short, and what you could do is not set a stop loss and wait to see what occurred, whether you drop down to the daily open and then that'd be your first take profit. I mean, is that the weekly view up there? I believe that's the weekly view up there, so arguably that'd be your first take profit. But what you could do is you could have a liquid stop loss where, instead of setting it up here where it's, what's that percentage wise? 3% stop loss. Yeah. Instead of doing that, what you could do is have it like a liquid stop loss. You could set effectively a mentally hard stop loss at 1%, but then you could wait to see what occurred in this region here. If you claimed the VWAP again, you don't have to wait for your stop loss to get hit, but you can, you have to be on the charts watching it, and really have to have Exo charts so that you can see what's occurring. Are buys coming in, or is it a bit of another short squeeze just to squeeze them out? Because then you can, it'll allow you to be in a trade, but it doesn't mean you've got like a massive stop loss to a point where if it doesn't play out, 3% is a big loss. Well, it's not a big loss, but it's not ideal. But it keeps you protected if we are to drop. Okay, if it's just a hedge, or if you're shorting on 2x, hopefully nothing more crazy. You're not going to have a 6% stop loss. That's a bit of a big loss, in my opinion. So yeah, and the first take profit does have to be arguably the weekly VWAP, but definitely the daily open, if not. So yeah, and that's actually all I've got in the immediate.
That was good. It's good stuff. The move up was I assume you went over the entry for the move up.
Yeah. So what I was going over, I'll just run over it again for you so that you understand how you could have entered the trade.
I already know where my entry was. I just wanted to see how you came to it because I used the volume chart for it.
Okay, so what I would have done is initially I would have been pulling this from and I pulled this from all these lows that we made. I pulled every low. I was pulling the fib because I love that retrace that it gives you before a move up. Now it front ran it by $5. I think we went to, this is where that line is, that's the low. It front ran it by $5. So in my opinion, you'd be, you're waiting for this on the order flow. The region, the gold pocket, the region you want to long. If it's front run by $5, you're still going to be expecting to take that trade. And what you can see and what you've been waiting for, every time you've come down here, you've wanted to see trapped shorts. You've wanted to see shorts enter, and you have. Every single low that we had, you had shorts enter, and then they got squeezed. Granted, I don't know whether they'd have put their stop loss. They could have certainly taken profits on moves like this, but at every single low, you had shorts entering, and then they got squeezed. It's literally, that's the reason you need to learn order flow, because at every low, shorts enter and they get squeezed. And this one in particular, you've got a huge amount of volume and shorts entering in this region. even though it's negative delta here, you have to think, okay, 12 and 32 million. So that's 45 million. And it says here that the open interest only decreased. Is that even 5 million? Yeah, just over 5 million. So there's a lot of volume there. And yet the open interest has only decreased 5 million. So what does that tell you? Well, arguably there'd be shorts entering, and there's definitely longs that would be getting stopped out. Yet it's not a crazy amount of a drop in the open interest there. So what does that tell you? It tells you that someone's taking their positions over. Someone's taking those contracts as people get stopped out. Because without a doubt, there's longs getting stopped out here. So someone's building a position. Okay, that's your trigger number one. Then you're getting a little bounce. You've had a little delta switch up. Arguably, you could have taken a trade there. But, you know, got to be more ballsy if you're doing that for sure. The best entry, in my opinion, was waiting to see this. So you've come up, you've had the volume decrease, and then it's built up as it's come back down. You've got open interest increasing as shorts are piling in with that 5 million delta there and that 3.8 million increasing open interest. Again, you've had it somewhat drop off. I wouldn't really say that volume's dropped off there, actually. You know, you've had shorts pile in at the lows. You've got 1.4 million there, negative 2 million on increasing open interest. If we put the net shorts on, you can see that the shorts piling in. And then what do we see on the in the footprint chart? You see the delta switch up. It's gone from 5 million, 1.42, it's weakening. You get an indecision candle there with 419K delta, and then it goes green. Literally all you need is to look at the colors, and it goes from red, white, green. There's your delta transition taking place. And then you get buying imbalances coming off as them shorts that have entered here start to get put underwater. And then you get the move up, and we've got your entry triggers. You've got shorts trapped. You've just front ran a gold pocket by $5. What else do you need? Even if you don't enter until up here, you've still got a great entry, because that stop loss, is that like a 1 or 2% stop loss? But on this move, this is like a big day trading. Like this is all you need, to be fair. But yeah, that's how I would have got the entry if I was up. But it's fucking 2 a.m.
I like it. What I was looking for was a little different, but we use the same tools. It's just I was using different ones at the time. So I am going to steal your screen here in just a second. Let me get some of these forks off of my macro chart. We got some macro forks to talk about in the group. Yeah, I'll steal that screen real quick here, and we'll knock this out fairly quickly. I'm curious to see what happens when I share the screen on this. It was a problem before, so let me know if the sound or the screen is a shit going forward. But pretty simple stuff here, guys. Sorry, I got a clip up from MMA. So if you guys are MMA fans, huge weekend. Khabib also got inducted into the Hall of Fame. So I was watching a clip of him where they said if you could fight a fictional character, and he said Michael Jordan, and I was like, why in the hell would you want to fight Michael Jordan? But it doesn't matter. Yeah, the level for me, and this is what I put in the group. You guys know I've been working all day to get the office ready, so you guys will see me in a completely different room. It'll be dedicated only to live streaming. Everything's been painted, trim is down, new flooring is down, stand-up desk, the works. It'll be nice. It'll be nice to have a war room, so to speak. But it was $18,880.50. That was the level that I really wanted to see regained. And you can see you basically double bottomed into it. So just knowing that this level was there, knowing that on the 4 hour we were putting in the swing failure pattern, very obvious. That was immediately just kind of like context wise, it's in my mind. Also, if we go out to an hourly, we'll take a look at the overall range, right? So the overall range from our dump, you can also see if we regain this, what do we stand to do? Re-challenge the range lows. And if you guys recall, I've been harping on you guys about $19,228. I don't put these levels on the chart because I like to hear myself talk. They do matter. And it's funny how these levels do end up over time. The Q4 NPOC, boom, right there. Look where the range low has now come to, 19,228. is playing a very key role. You know, if you go down to the 5-minute chart, we get rid of the actual range now because we no longer need it. You can see exactly what was holding you down and where the support was. So once we reclaimed 18,880, where do you go? 19,228. If you can break that, that is your go long signal up to. Realistically, what we said in the update last night was unless this thing reclaims the weekly open, there's really no point in looking for longs. You're looking for lower. We're looking for the low of the range. So context is key. Now, once you're down here, how can you find an entry? That's the fun part, right? So coming into the lows of the range was right here. You don't have like bullish divergence or anything like that. We're on the 5 mil chart right now. The only thing you can see is, you know, you have 1.9 million shorts opening up and then a few at the lows here. But you don't really have the delta that you're looking to see until about right here on the 38%. But you do have everything you want to see at the lows of a move. And so just knowing that, you would want to say, okay, where's 18,880? It's about right here. You can see the rejection off of it. Once you reclaim it, that's where you really want to be looking for longs. If you go to the 2 mil chart, which I know Max is a 1 mil guy, I'm a 2 mil guy. I like the 2 mil because I think it just offers up a little bit more clarity than the 1 mil. And of course, it's going to change my tick settings. Actually, I believe I'm using 44 right now. So when you got down to the lows here, there was a candle that gave you the perfect entry on the 2 mil. And it comes in about right here. So you have your very first buying imbalance of 1.3 million and your first 37% delta candle, right? Zoomed in after all this negative delta at the lows. Now what we know is it is shifting. We have more buying imbalances. Stop loss is now below the low. And we know that buyers are in control. And you can see that according to the chart here, just watching the delta chart or the volume chart, excuse me. And that as soon as we then crack 19,228 over time, or 18,880 first in this case, we will see this, and then we will see an appreciation in price. And we can then go to our overall range and we can start, you know, saying, where do I really want to be taking profit at? For me, I've really highlighted that this is a zone of resistance because this is a very large volume node where the point of control is going to shift, in my opinion, at some point. We talked about this last night. You can see how close they are. So you do have to be taking profits in this region right away. What is in that area? Well, it's a level that I've been harping on you guys about for quite some time, 20,688.50. So your very first take profit has to be there, and you can see exactly where your swing failure pattern has occurred at the 20,688.50 level. So none of these levels are random. These are all done. They've been on the charts for a while. So if you're taking profits, that was a take profit for sure. Like that's a for sure take profit. You have to be locking in value, making sure that you're paid in full on this trade, and then move your stop loss wherever you need to, or keep it below the low because you've already taken half of the trade off or whatever it may be. Maybe it's 30%, whatever you've got to do. And if you can get above this box, well, we can rotate to the range highs and then talk about, you know, other key levels that we've been speaking about down the road, specifically caveman level I gave you guys a week ago, a little 10 days ago, 23,282.50, now coming in at your monthly pivot, actually, I believe. So that would be the ticket right there. Clear this box. I'm looking for this area. That's it. It's plain and simple. Am I looking to automatically short this area? No, but I bet it's good for a scallop or two. But until this area right here is reclaimed, it's really not worth talking about. Yeah, that's it. Very simple for me how I went about it. Obvious swing failure pattern of the low on the 4 hour. 19,228 lining up with the value area low of the range. You want to see the reclaim of both of those, which you got the entry. You had an entry. You have a stop loss. That's good enough for a trade. Now you need to plan. And, you know, you can see as you're approaching 19,228 on the way up, there still is no reason to short here. You can see that Delta is very, very positive. You have one negative candle and selling imbalances here. So if someone wanted to flip short, they probably would have to be a little bit cautious, meaning that stop loss goes above the high into the VWAP. Once the VWAP is regained, well, off it goes, right? And at that point, you should be watching more of a 5 mil, probably zooming out a little bit and actually just kind of paying attention to the overall trend to see if it's going to reverse. One thing I did post in the group is that there was some bearish divergences that were building right here. You did get a little mini SFP of this high, and we'll see what comes of it. Its OI is falling off on the way down, so not generally what you want to see for a sell-off. So maybe it's just a pullback at that point. But to Max's credit, covering what we were talking about before, day open is going to be important if reached. But really, previous day value area high to me is a pretty big level. That 19.3 area, that's also just above 19.228, however you want to look at it. The previous day EQ is there. There's just a lot there to say that if that level gets flipped, it's probably not going to be very good long term for this little rally, I guess is the way to word that. So again, that's why you have to lock in profits. If you guys took the longs from down here, there's a lot of people out there that are saying, oh, I'm so smart, I took this long. This is a really fast move. Doesn't mean it can't come down. Lock in some profits, evaluate the move as it comes back to support, and see what happens. If you don't do that, you run the risk of turning a winning trade into a losing trade, which is like cardinal sin number one of trading, is watching something go from positive to negative. I think we've all done it in our past. I can't think of any trader who hasn't. But it's one of the hardest things to do as a trader is to turn off that greed section of the brain, lock in those gains, and then be completely neutral to the chart after that and not get biased that, well, if it goes up, I'll make more money. So you can't think like that. You have to think as if I'm using leverage, especially, you need to extract as much money out of the market as you can quickly, and then move on to the next high probability setup where you're no longer guessing.
A good way to look at it is, this is my day job. I need my daily wage.
Yeah, you got to pay yourself, man. It's a great way to look at it.
Can't be thinking, oh my God, this is going to make me a millionaire. No, just take it for what it is. Little day trade, get out. Take your money, be happy with it. If it goes up, you can always another trade. Oh, don't show this. Don't be doing me dirty like
all right. Sorry, no one's gonna know.
I was gonna let you just copy and paste this all over, but yeah.
The previous month forks have been fantastic. I'll pull those in the group. Obviously, they're out there, but June has been a fantastic month to pull on. I've already posted them in the Bitcoin chat.
Where was your box? Your little box to regain that you had. It was from this region. It was from
the weekly open. The weekly open is really the key level, but the box that I pulled started at the weekly pivot and it goes up to the weekly open essentially, because that's really the high volume node area that you're in. But if we're looking for closures above a specific level, 20,688.50 is going to be the level that you just got to be aware of. If that gets turned into support, we see that actually turning into support, like it's probably going to be a decent move. And we might start expecting, more. But yeah, that's the box. I mean, it just makes sense. You got to think about it. I mean, flipping the weekly green would be nice. That weekly open is going to be defended by anyone that was trying to push it down to the lows throughout the beginning of the week. Those sellers are going to be present, so it's just, there's a lot there. There is a lot in this region. So if that 21K region doesn't get flipped, it's a problem for Bitcoin. It could very easily turn into, I'm going to steal the screen back for just a second. I talked about this on Debate Crypto. So as always, guys, we do Debate Crypto on Thursdays before we do this live stream. So if you guys find these live streams to be a little too late, if you tune in at 6:30 on Debate Crypto, you can usually catch myself and CVO on there as well. And they also have other TA guys on there all the time, which means we get to debate with them or talk with them, which is great. You guys should see other opinions as well. But you can just see the overall formation of this already. If we don't clear that box I just highlighted for you guys, that is a nice lowercase b, and would imply that if we spend too much time at the lows here, guys, that would be a continuation volume formation showing you that sellers are very much so in control and that you will see lower prices. And you can see a very good example of this in the prior range. Usually I have to search for one of these. This is the prior range. This was the prior range. Oh, we're on the 15-minute. No wonder this is being a huge pain in the butt. But this is a pretty good example as well. You can see right here, you had a very nice lowercase b, right? So you can see a very fat node at the bottom. FTM's chart is a really good example of it as well. And that's why I said I wouldn't touch FTM with a 10-foot pole when it was at like $2.30. Even when it bounced down to 117, I said no interest, mainly because of the formation of the volume. It just looked like shit. And so if Bitcoin can't regain this box and it does root around down here, it can very easily dump through this. So that's why I said take profits. You can leave some of the trade open. Just understand that if it's a trade and not an investment, there is a difference. You have to pay yourself. It's your day job. Treat it like a day job anyway, even if it's not, and you're good. I don't know who that is in the chat, but CVO, if you can get rid of them, that'd be great.
Yeah, they popped up on Debate Crypto too.
I saw that. That's crazy. Look at all that. That's wild, guys. Welcome to the internet of things. Not always great.
I banned them. I blocked user on YouTube. That's how I clicked. It says something went wrong. Bruh, can't keep doing that.
Oh, my bad. I don't have much else left, man. I don't have much else left, so I don't know what else to do. All you gotta do is just go back to the screen. You could just turn on your camera so we could all see Max.
Yeah, once. Exactly.
Really wants.
I'll go over a couple things real quick too. So, man, what I love about working with the two of you gentlemen is I feel like it's a nice even blend here, right, of a couple of different strategies. And obviously you guys hyper focus on Bitcoin and the altcoins as well. But I do a lot of the altcoins, pretty much solely here to the point where I was a little nervous, but Magic wasn't going to make it to Debate Crypto with me. And I was putting together my Bitcoin chart real quick. Yeah, so, the other day, we've been tracking this entire move, and obviously we correlate Bitcoin with the rest of the market, and a couple updates throughout the Leading Crypto Discord. And one of the biggest things recently that we were looking for, was that a bunch of the altcoins, this was yesterday, I believe, after posting all the updates of them. What time was this? Yesterday, 8:50 in the morning, like 9, 10, 11 a.m., whatever it was, right? So have a ton of altcoins, 8 to 10% away from major support. Bitcoin pulls back to the golden pocket, right? The areas that we were outlining, Magic's updates, right? Basically everything was going to come down to these levels, right? So we were kind of like overall looking for the market as a whole, with Bitcoin's price action obviously leading the way. Literally woke up 6 in the morning. Bitcoin made its way down. All of our alerts are going off. Unlike Max, I didn't sleep through mine. So, but it was a very eventful morning here. So going to take a look at a couple of these, right? So GMT was a big one, which this was actually one recently that we actually were looking at and picking up a little bit down here by the range low during some of the scariest time of the market, right? This was when Bitcoin was coming down on that Saturday, 17,000, whatever. Everybody's getting really, wigged out. I think GMT had a lot of negative news around it at the time as well. Something I like to kind of focus on. I mean, obviously you're going to catch a random Luna here and there where the coin obviously goes to zero. But for the most part, you tend to see a lot of like heavy negative news come out around some things, near the low. So it's just something to chart and, kind of see how it goes. And then it's got really nice, clear invalidations, right? You got stop losses you can put right below this low here. And then from there, obviously, we ran it back. Main target coming up here is your point of control. And then just, even just from this weekly level right here, which is, I think, the main area we started picking it up at. This was just spot. This wasn't, leverage trading, nothing like that. This is 80% move to the point of control. Really nice move up. Just like Magic says, you want to take profits along the way, especially if you were picking it up around these regions. And for this exact, reason short term, at least, right? Because you could have had this huge run, and in theory, we are targeting this range high or a couple of these other levels across the way. But over the course of a few days, we gave up 30%. So with this idea here, right, this is pretty much what we look for, right? You get your major targets, and then what do? You pull back generally towards your golden pocket. Pair that with another major area on the chart, right? So we had this major weekly level coming in right here. I think we actually front ran the golden pocket just a bit here, just kind of like how Max was talking about earlier, right? So it's definitely an area you want to kind of have other confluences with, so that you're not just looking for solely that area. Because if you would have had an alert there, it wouldn't have went off. But this weekly was the major area here. And so far, obviously, we can basically give this back up, but a nice little, another 15% move, 16% move off the low there. Phantom, we were just talking about FTM. I know, Magic doesn't want to touch it, but it does make for a nice, and he's saying that in the sense of long-term investing, I believe, at that $2 area, but, made for another pretty decent little trade here, right? So, and even if you didn't catch it from the low, just looking at this, once again, 3-month level, right? Big area on the chart, nice high volume node, and golden pocket, right? So alert, this one went off as well. Just once again, just from where we are right now, nice little 10, 11%. Not a bad little move there. Near actually punched through a bit, right? So we had near kind of come back down through the point of control. However, we were looking for this move down here, right, towards this point of control, possibly even the range low. The one thing we were looking for here is that you wanted to reclaim this point of control. So anybody looking into near, you really want to kind of, focus on this area, see if we hold it. Really want to pay attention to Bitcoin, though, at the same time. If we are anticipating, if you do get a little bit of a pullback at this point, probably going to end up losing that. But that range low comes back into play, here for near. And one thing I like about near, and I was talking about this on Debate Crypto tonight, and, not to get super ahead of ourselves, right? But if Bitcoin, runs it back a little bit next day or two over the weekend or whatever, coming future here, everything kind of pulls back once again. Near holds this range low, right? This would give you once again another nice clear validation point, stop loss below the low. But if this ends up running it back, this is a massive, massive range, right? So even just back up to this golden pocket is 75%, right? You got a daily level there, a couple of 3 months, blah, blah, blah. You got the previous quarter point of control, and then you got the range high coming all the way up here. Not to say that would happen overnight. Realistically, maybe that doesn't even get rotated in full. But this range now is set in stone, right? So it's not going to change. It did just end, right? The time frame of that was until June 30th. Let me pull it up a little bit. Actually, might have shifted a bit now that I'm talking out of my back end there. All right, so it shifted a little bit here. So the value area high comes down a little bit. Point of control is pretty much where it was, but essentially same deal, right? You got to really, now you actually look at this and you basically lost your point of control and you're actually back testing it right now. So really something you want to pay attention to, because if you lose that, you're probably heading back down that range low. And then without leverage, right? So this is the key to survive in some of these altcoin moves, because if you do not know what you're doing, with trading, especially, the altcoins will take you down so fast. Without leverage, man, 80%, back to the point of control. I mean, these are just really, the altcoins just offer up such great opportunities there on short term, just, spot trades alone. You don't need to lose sleep at night. Avalanche, point of control, golden pocket, major alert went off, right? Obviously it dipped a little bit below there. But even just from that, not as grand of a run up there, but 8%. But Avalanche we've been watching for quite a bit as well. This was another one that was coming into the range low just about a week ago, and we ran it back, right? We had the EQ, so the center of the range, coming in at this quarterly key level, exactly where we topped out at basically. And then from there, we were looking for a pullback to that golden pocket. So this was actually a really good short that we were looking for at this level back when this occurred on the 26th. So posted that in the CBO updates in the group as well. So yeah, I mean, a lot of the altcoins pretty much look the same, right? ETH, Magic actually put together, I need to update my chart with the TPO information as well. But Magic actually had a really nice Ethereum chart. He just debuted on Debate Crypto as well. We'll probably put it in the group tonight. But I've been looking at just a really simple. What's up?
I said it's in the group. It's just one of those things where like it's a really big high time frame chart.
Right.
And it does imply that, hey, on a macro, the level that was discussed has to be lost. So, in regards to day trades on like altcoins, guys, like CVO fucking knocks it out of the park. Like 9 times out of 10, actually, like really, really high percentage, like on these ranges. So, it is one of those things where you guys should be paying attention to what he's doing, because a lot of times he's handing you guys way bigger percentage moves with no leverage than I'm going to hand you on Bitcoin. So if you're not like I don't want to say if you're not an expert trader, but like, altcoins, you just kind of have to time them right. You don't really, the analysis he's giving you is very detailed, but like timing the altcoin like buys is pretty, it's not hard. It's just one of those things that if you do it right, you can make a lot of money. You make a lot of money very quickly. You just have to, again, it comes down to taking profits. But when it comes to Ethereum, like I'm pretty sure you've nailed Ethereum very, very well. I just think that if Ethereum loses the levels that we're at, it's like, fuck, dude.
No, yeah, no, I really like that chart.
Market
Honestly, and yeah, it's mind blowing to see sometimes, like some on the macro, like, and sometimes that's all you need, especially if you're working and you're busy, you got a family, you're doing your thing, and you just want to pay attention and kind of be prepared for certain areas on, when is it going to happen is the question. But the big thing too is, we time, somewhat. You can, really have to be aware of what Bitcoin's doing, and I think that's really the key. Is like, you and Max, man, you guys nail Bitcoin, to to the stake, and that really helps when you're looking at Bitcoin, and then you look at the altcoins, and it's like, all right, you got like everything lining up pretty well, and it's pretty helpful. So yeah, in Ethereum, I really just had just these several levels. I mean, what is this? 1, 2, range low, range high, and a point control, and you got the EQ chilling. This is all we really needed for the last few weeks, right? So we re-entered. I'll zoom this out a little bit. Obviously we dropped out of this region. We basically had this old range below us. This is from like Q1 of last year or something, Q1 of 21. So range isn't going to change, right? That's set in stone. It's there. I got these 2 levels below us, which we basically came down to and tagged this weekly here. And you got the weekly right at 793 below that. If we start making our way down, aside from that, we ran it back. If you go to the daily time frame, we never even actually closed outside of this range, right? This was all a wick. So even on a daily time frame, is probably better to even look at it. So you wick down, close back in the range, right? Ran it back up, point of control, slightly held it, lost it, ran up to the EQ, rejection, right back down, golden pocket, bounce back up. Right now we're possibly getting rejected at the point of control. So it's one of those things that kind of like line up with Bitcoin too, right? Is Bitcoin going to just run it down, get that Dalton back down to 19K, drop it down to 18K, yada yada yada. And even for Ethereum in general, maybe even Bitcoin holds its status for the day, and all the altcoins, bust out 20% runs. That's a possibility as well. And then for ETH, really what you want to see is this point of control right here, like 1105. You flip that, hold it 4 hours, 12 hours, 6 hours. I mean, a daily would be better. Then we're looking back up to the EQ, and then essentially you're looking back up to the range high. Now you do have the previous. What's up?
Sorry. I didn't realize I was unmuted and I yawned.
Oh, no worries. Didn't mean to put you to sleep, bro. You do have the previous 1431 area that comes in here is the previous all-time high of 2017. You'll look left and you can see a little cluster over here. But aside from this, I mean, you're pretty much looking back up. And I think this is what Magic was covering earlier, is that even if we run it back 1663, this is kind of what we've been covering too recently, is that we're just in such a major range. And if we do end up just ranging around, this is a big ups, even from, where we are now. Let's just say, you buy this point of control and you run it up 50% move out of Ethereum. If we get it, is going to be major. And that you already know what that's going to do for sentiment, the rest of the market. Obviously Bitcoin's probably running up 50% as well. So you're talking about being back around 30, 29, 30K. Not that that's going to happen overnight, but that's just an example of what we could see, and then still just catch a rejection, come right back down, right? Just rotate this range and fold once again. So really, interesting to be paying attention to these areas. Come back up, reclaim the range, take off from there. Obviously, that's a different story. But for now, that's what I'd be looking for in the short term here, though. If Bitcoin gets that drawdown, obviously we'll probably get another pullback in the market here. Maybe we come back down into this golden pocket once again, and then we'll be paying attention at that point. Real easy invalidations, right? Right now is not necessarily where you want to be extremely, running in with buys. But you flip this level, right? 1105, so $30 away from where we are now. Start holding that, and then you got your stop loss area. You can put it below this golden pocket, whatever you want to do. The thing is too is that, like I said, I really do hammer in on the spot trades. It's and the reason I say that is because, in my opinion, I will leverage trade the altcoins as much as anybody else. But it's like Ethereum, I guess, is one of them. Ethereum and Bitcoin, to me, are the two best to add any kind of leverage on, because if you're trading anything else, you have to watch the two of these, right? So like, why would you even almost bother sometimes? It depends on what it is, of course, but a 10x leverage on Near or Avalanche, Solana, like a lot of times you're going to get either stopped out if you're actually putting stop loss, or you're going to be underwater, as Max likes to say, at some point for a hot minute, right? And those are some tough moves, and I would venture to say most people don't get those altcoins right. Maybe I'm wrong, but either way, really good opportunities with spot. I feel like if you're looking to make trading a habit, practice on spot. If you're going to do, try to take this move up to the high, do this in a spot trade. And if you can't handle that, then obviously you're not going to make it elsewhere. So really easy place to practice. Stop loss here, on a non-leveraged trade is only 6-7%, which if you're on 10x, this is only a 0.7%, opportunity there if you're trying to do that. So I'm just ranting or venting or whatever you want to call it, I guess. But that's Ethereum for that. Solana on the daily chart, once again, where we come into golden pocket, monthly level, had all these kind of marked off here. Wick down from here, looking back up to the point of control. Well, let's see where this, I got that one on it backed up on week 2. That might have been a day off. Either way, range is pretty much the same, give or take, right? So now we shifted a little bit to the low, a little bit lower there. Point of control still is where it is. And as far as upside, right, you got this monthly level right below, so you lose that 32.75. You still got the golden pocket right here, but this is kind of the area you want to hold on to. Otherwise, looking back down in the range low to the upside, got a quarterly key level, flip that point of control, and we got a major golden pocket coming in up here. And daily and range high. So if Bitcoin pulls it down, right, everything's probably going to pull back again. That 8-10% that we just got today, it'll literally give it all back up. But then if we get that, that idea where we were talking where Bitcoin pulls back to 18 or 19, and then you swing fail the lows and then you run it, I can imagine a lot of these altcoins just doing exactly the same thing, right? Coming back down, pulling it up, running to the range high. And Solana's got a really nice range too, right? From low to high. Obviously, I know we're not at the low right now, but it's 100% range. If you get that low again, come into the golden pocket area. If you pick that up today, you got a 70% opportunity to the high, and you got 21% to the point of control. 21% all day, every day. That's not something to be shaken at. That's pretty much all I just want to go over. I just wanted to kind of cover that idea there. We got a bunch of other altcoins in there as well. I think Quant was actually one. I'm not going to pull it up here, but Quant was a good one as well. Cardano. So yeah, I think that's about all I wanted to cover there. Yeah, all the naked HD XYZ, they're rating us.
Well, we know what CVO will be doing later.
That's what you've been doing in the side there. I heard your your screen kick up.
Yeah, nothing but OnlyFans for me from now on, guys. Sorry. If you guys want my TA, you're also gonna have to see me naked.
Well, we want your TNA.
The analysis is pretty simple. It's about being patient, if you want my personal opinion. We were pretty much all expecting the move down. We've been talking about it for damn near 2 weeks. You know, there was a really nice short off the highs. I'll throw you guys a bone and we'll talk about that one. It really is. Oh, are you not going to load now? Really? Here we go. Let me get my screen up and I'll show you guys what I'm on about. So it did come down to a patience game. You had a really, really nice move down here. Okay, so you set a low right here, or you attempted to, and then made a lower low, right? So we have a nice final impulse that we can measure, and this has got to go. I feel like I'm lagging pretty hard here, but it doesn't matter. Let's get rid of everything. We just want the one-to-one. That's all we're after. So now we just want to measure the one-to-one, which you can see gets you the high right here, basically. On the hourly, it's like to the hour. 4 hour, it is a little bit of variance, but it gave you the high essentially right here, just by tracking these two impulses. Okay, so this is what I mean by you have to be ready for SFPs, all that stuff. So you've got the high here, and then you took the highs. All right, so you had this. This is by and large a pretty good high. You just had to be prepared for this move up to about 21.8 to either ladder in or take a new position. And then from there, where's your next best entry? It is not here. Everybody was talking about 20K, and I saw some people like, I'm going to long 20.2 or 20.3. I'm longing 19.9. And even me at 19.9, I think it was 19,962 level, and it was a okay reaction in the sense that like you could have scalped it, right? But outside of that, there's really no reason to be committing capital until the lows of the range again, and that was down in this region. So patience is going to be the big thing, and you can use things like Fibonacci time to like let you know when is this a good high. Yes, I should mark it, and then you can see exactly how well it took the high here. Even on the hourly, it came all the way back to the level, closed beneath it, gave you the perfect entry, and then gave you a nice back test. Like if you went after the daily now, and we started like looking at this on a higher time frame. We'll get rid of this. Man, the computer's starting to lag pretty hard here. We're buying a new computer here very soon. This was the box that I gave for the group. Was here. I mean, these are the levels that were within it. And if we go down to the hourly now, this was the box of resistance. And there's your initial swing failure pattern, right, of the high. There's your back test. 21,545 is the level that you're looking for first. And you hit $21,539. So you're within $6 of the exact high. Just using basic TA, really basic TA. Understanding what a swing failure pattern is, understanding the importance of these levels and how to mark them as resistance zones versus just using them as entries. There is a difference in that. You have to understand how these are going to be defended and then see that in the order flow. It gives you a really, really good entry if you want it. And that's a secondary entry for a short if you miss the initial, right? So you now have an entry here. Very, very fucking similar to, if you guys recall, 47,707 in that top. There was a level at 47,000 or no, 47,200 and like fucking, God, was it 14, give or take? I'll look. We'll go back to it here. You had a very similar situation, and so these situations will occur over and over again in trading. These are all setups, guys. You have to understand, like, eventually you learn these and you learn how to recognize price action. It does take time. It's not like it's easy. But you had a really nice setup right here. Okay. And this is the exact same type of thing. You made your high and man, the lag on this computer,
Yeah, it's
it's not
getting
as bad
wild.
as it's not as bad as the last one, but it's getting not great. It looks like I'll be buying a whole nother computer very soon, and maybe I'll bring out one of those tech guys to see if they can't fix the new one first. But um, that's gonna bother me because I don't like spending money on things like that, and then you know it not working.
Just get
That's the
one of
whole
those
point.
really colorful like gaming computers that you can just change the colors and it just spins behind you.
Yeah, that'd be cool. But here's the level, right? This is the level that we're on about. You identified the level, and there's your entry. It's a really nice entry. You didn't catch the exact high. You missed it by $800, but you caught the lower high. You caught the backfill of probably this whole section of price, if I had to guess. Yeah, it's all the way up to the value area high here, and we'll just continue it over to this region. Yeah, straight into the POC, close beneath it. Then again, right here, another swing failure pattern locally, lower high, down you go. Um, Finding an entry is not hard. It's just, it does take discipline, and it does take, for lack of a better term, you just can't be lazy. Uh, Sometimes your life will get in the way of these things, and if it does, that's okay. There's a secondary entry. Just like I said, if you miss the top, there was a secondary entry. You have to set an alert for that and play that region because you have an immediate invalidation. That's the overall high, right? Like, where is your trade wrong if you want to take this secondary entry? Let's say you're wanting to set a limit order for 21,545. So you're gonna front your target by like maybe $10 or $20, which does get you into the trade pretty much at the top. But your invalidation has to be above the high because you know that if this goes higher, you're probably wrong, right? This is where your invalidation goes. Um, Normally, you won't catch me saying put your stop loss above the most local high, but in this case, it's warranted by the context. So that's all I'll really say about that. It takes time to figure these things out. It's hard to do. This is why signals groups don't really fucking work because they're not going to be able to relay this information to you real time. It's not something that just happens like immediately. But over time, people do pick up on this, and it does take. I'm not going to say years, but it takes time. For most people, it does take years. It takes 2 to 3 years to figure it out, including myself. It probably took me 2 years to figure this out, and that's because I was exposed to this kind of material very quickly. Most people don't see this shit for 5, 6, 7 years, and they're just stuck in the grind, trading like patterns and stuff. And like you'll find some success, but you'll also find really large drawdowns. You'll find a hard time finding a stop loss, things like that. Finding really supreme entries is one of those things where it's like that's a real skill. And once you have it, it seems very simple. Like I make it seem like it's a very simple thing, but the patience part of it and waiting for this retest is the hard part. It's why we had the live stream. I said this is the new zone. This is the new resistance. It's the daily level and the swing failure patterns. These are the areas that we need to look to. And if we come back into this zone, we need to see what's going on in the order flow because it could give you the entry for another short. And that's how you find that secondary retest. So when people say buy the retest or sell the retest, like this is how it's done on a technical level, I guess, without blindly just saying, I'm just going to put my money there and hope it works out, which nobody should be doing that. But people definitely do it in this market. Crypto's kind of a degen market anyway, but that's all I've really got. Otherwise, I'm just ranting at you guys. You're coming into the weekly point of control now, at least according to the 40 tick. Be curious to see what happens in this area because I believe daily open comes in somewhere in this region, if I recall. Yeah, towards the value area low. So big area to be hanging on to. Otherwise, we'll look down to the previous day value area high and EQ and play those levels for what they are.
Sounds good. Yeah, I think that's all we got, everybody. Hope you all enjoyed this weekly update. We do these every Thursday after we do debate crypto on, once again, Thursday night, 7:30 p.m. We do debate crypto. We try to kick this one off with Max about 10 p.m.-ish our time. He's over there in Dubai just waking up at like 5 a.m. So we always appreciate him jumping on with us. If you guys have any questions in the group, always feel free to tag us in there. If you're interested in joining the Leading Crypto Discord server, our link is in our description below. Otherwise, we'll see you all in our weekly update again next Thursday. So, Magic or Max, you guys got anything else to add? Or
if anyone took the short from the VWAP that we mentioned, and we did discuss the first take profit being the weekly VWAP and previous day high, all right now. If you took the short, take some profits.
Pay yourself. Yep.
Heard that. Day job paid. Awesome. Thanks again, guys. Always a pleasure doing these with you. Hope you all enjoyed this update. Like we said, come back, see us again next week. Till next time, everybody, enjoy the rest of your day, morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in this beautiful world. And until the next time, cheers.